guys, Greg here, and welcome back for part 2 of the 2007 KX250 project rebuild. I'm not going to go into detail about the current condition of the bike because I've already done that in the prior video, so if you haven't seen that, go ahead and check it out. But what I'm going to do now is dive into it, start tearing it apart, and see what we can get our hands into. Stay tuned. Okay, so first things first, we're going to start with the seat, shroud, side panels, front and rear fender. Going to grab that silencer off, rip the gas tank off, then grab the subframe and airbox. So if you guys saw in the intro video how loose and janky the silencer was here, take a look at this. We got some janky wire that's kind of holding it on and some random washers, and that bolt at the end actually doesn't even look like a motorcycle bolt. I think it looks like a piece of hardware that you can buy at Home Depot, so it's a nice style there. Looks like this was actually a 7/16 bolt. Closer look upon inspection of this FMF pipe. The end cap is actually wobbling in there, and then if you take a closer look at this, it's got a nice little bend in where kind of like that mid pipe area is. So FMF turbine core 2, see you later, we're getting a new one. So this might be the biggest question that everybody is wondering. Am I going to keep this Still Gonna Send It sticker on? I don't know. I guess you'll have to find out. Gotta disconnect this gas hose from the carburetor. The tank should be good to pop off. Luckily, no gas. Alright, next up, I am gonna take this nasty air filter off this bike. I really just want to throw it in the trash, to be honest with you, but I'm gonna see if I can use my Twin Air filter cleaner system to try to get that bad boy like new. What I also noticed too is the top bolt for the subframe wasn't actually tight at all, and hence a reason for why, you know, the subframe was probably making some rattling noises. So that should be an easy one to take out right now. Luckily, it doesn't look like there's any dirt on the inside of the filter, which is PRYME. Just the outside is pretty caked in. Okay, and finally we just need to loosen the clamp on the air boot that connects to the carburetor, and we should be able to pop this subframe right off. Perfect. Alright, so with all the plastics off, tank, rear subframe, now I'm going to go ahead and work on the rear end of the bike, snip that chain off, rear tire, rear shock, and the linkage down below. Chain's a little rusty. For this axle, looks like it's missing the cotter pin, so if you guys could remind me to make sure to buy a cotter pin when I put this bad boy back together. Wow, this wasn't even tight either. Literally almost hand tight again. Alright, that seems to be coming off a little harder than I thought it would. Gonna give this a go in socket here. Alright, gotta go with a little leverage from the torque wrench. Hopefully that'll work. Yeah, looks like we got it. There we go. Yeah, whenever you're struggling with the regular size ratchet, try to find something bigger so you can get a longer lever arm on it, and hopefully you'll have enough power to pop that nut loose. Alright, for the bottom of the shock bolt, I'm going to try the impact gun again. Butter. Alright, these bad boys came out like butter, and I'm actually pretty pumped about it because they seem to be greased up and lubed up and not rusty at all, so that's a good sign for the linkage. And actually, after some inspection and investigation, it screws off. So now you guys know this bolt screws on and doesn't just slide in and slide out. And these popped out super smoothly. The bolts are in great condition, which really makes me happy about the condition of this linkage. Obviously it needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but hey, I think we're doing great. So next up we got the swing arm bolt. As you can see, the swing arm actually moves up and down pretty freely without any resistance. So hopefully that's a good sign that the bolt will come out nice and smooth. So let's see if we can get in there and take her out. And actually that bolt wasn't even on there tight at all. Wow. Alright, so I do have to commend the previous owner because this is the swing arm bolt that just came out, and it is nice and lubed like all of the other suspension bolts that came out. So kudos to him because I didn't have any trouble getting any of these bolts out. After getting that rear end of the bike completely off now, we can really see the back end of the frame and the motor, and a little grimy. We got some work to do, but nothing we definitely can't work with. So can't wait to get the motor out now and try to dive in to cleaning this bad boy up. loose bolt on this bike, which is the steering stem nut on top here. Just comes out with my fingers. Didn't even have to use a socket or anything to pop it off. With this retainer nut on top of the steering stem here, normally you can use a wrench to get this off, a special wrench, but most of us don't have a special wrench. So I'm just going to take a screwdriver and a dead blow hammer to just slowly knock it loose here. And that came off super easy. And looking at these bearings here in the steering stem, they are greased like crazy and they actually look pretty good. So I don't think I'll be having to replace these. They literally look like they were just greased, and this steering stem is in great condition. So some more good news there. For this situation, really wish that I had a size number 6 Allen to throw on the socket, but I don't. So I guess slow and steady wins the race. Some red Loctite. That is why this thing was such a beast to get out. Alright guys, all we have remaining now is the CDI box, the remaining electrical components and wires, motor mounts, and then this engine should be out. Okay guys, time for the final bolt that connects the motor to the frame here. And we're free. Let's get this bad boy out.
guys, so we finally got the KX250 completely taken apart. Still got the motor to do, still got the suspension to do. I got some pretty cool ideas with that. Next I need to get really dirty and clean everything, make everything spick and span and shiny. Got a bunch of Cerakoting ideas that I want to do to the motor and a bunch of different parts here. Had a conversation with a good buddy of mine, Spencer Luzak, and if you guys don't know who that is, go check out his Instagram because he has done some of the craziest, most insane bike builds I've ever seen. His KX125 Roxanne, it was featured in Racer X, tested out by David Pingree. Thin Lizzy was a KTM SX125, and both Roxanne and Thin Lizzy ran in the Red Bull Straight Rhythm this past year. And his current project is Lil Susie, which is an RM250. So definitely check him out. But I talked to him for like an hour and a half the other day and gave me some great ideas with the motor, the suspension, some companies that he recommends and works with. So I'm really excited to share those guys with you. All right, so seriously guys, if you like what I'm doing, subscribe to the channel because then you can follow me and stay up to date. Leave a comment. Maybe you want to see me do something cool with this build. I've got some great ideas already, and maybe your idea could be a part of this bike project as well. But as always, we're gonna stick to the motto of this bike, still gonna send it. That's what we're gonna do. So stay tuned for more awesome content coming up, and thanks for watching. All right guys, I almost forgot. So for this video, the teardown of the KX250, I want you guys to vote and comment below on what you thought was either the grossest, the jankiest, or like the most squid-like looking thing on this bike. So first up is this air filter, all right? This thing is probably in the running for one of the grossest parts on the bike. Second up is the fender that may be the most squid-like thing on this bike. The Still Gonna Send It rear fender. Little cracked on one end, but this is pretty squid-like. And the third thing, jankiest thing, was how this rear silencer was mounted on the bike with like the wire and the different washers and everything. It's bent in this mid-pipe area here. The end cap is kind of popping in and out. So what I want you guys to do is comment in the video below, like it, and vote for your jankiest, grossest, most squid-like product, whether it's the silencer, the air filter, or the Still Gonna Send It sticker. Now, so what I think the winner is definitely the air filter. And what I'd like to do is actually give one of you guys who comments below a brand new air filter. So I like to use Twin Air. I've got one right here. This is actually for a YZ125, 250, 250F, 426, or 450, so those ranges. But I'm gonna randomly select the winner, and you guys will be able to pick what bike you want an air filter for. And I'm pretty pumped to see what you guys have to say. Thanks, guys. I don't know. I guess you guys have to wait and see to find out.